It does seem to me you
Look
are...
at the number one factor.
You
wait,
are,
wait, can you just add the number one factor?
If you don't mind me saying,
Add the
you
number
are
one factor.
sounding quite ludicrously deluded. I've got to be fair to you and say, I like
What do
you
you
and I
mean?
respect you, but honestly you are. Let's bring in Clay Travis. You can't...
So we love it around here when these woke Democratic pundits basically have to face the facts and eat the words that they've been spouting about Donald Trump and his supporters for the last couple years. They set up on their high horse, tossing insults that we're racist or misogynist if we can't vote for the black woman who essentially had no policies or principles or anything, and co-signed to all of the nonsense that Joe Biden put Americans through in these last 4 years. And in this one, we're going to have a look at Wajahat Ali literally eating crow as he is completely obliterated by one of the show favorites, Emily Austin. Now let's have a look.
Let's start with you, Wajahat, because last time I spoke to you, you said quotes that you would eat crow on this show if you were proven spectacularly wrong with the result of the election. And let's just remind you of what you said.
This is why Republicans are painted in a corner, right? I feel bad for them. The people have to come out and defend Trump. There's two things they can't defend. January 6th, Roe v. Wade. Those are two galvanizing factors, which is why I believe Kamala Harris, I'm going to say it in front of the camera, is going to win tomorrow. And if I'm wrong, he's buying me halal crow, which I will eat on your set.
Yes, I am. I hope you brought some with you, Wajahat.
Well, first and foremost, thank you so much for referring to all of us as your luminaries. That makes me feel really good. And I'm a man of my word, Piers Morgan. This is not halal crow, but it's halal liver. So I will eat halal liver on your show for you. I was wrong, and I'm eating halal liver. And at the very least, I hope you can say, you know, Wajahat and I disagree, but he's a man of his word. Hopefully he's consistent in his principles. So that's halal liver. It's not that good. I hope your fans are happy. And at the very least, I hope you can say I'm a man of my word. That's halal liver, not crow, but liver. Hopefully I don't choke live on air. In response, the foreign policy. Listen, Donald Trump says a lot.
Well, hang on. I'm not asking you about that yet. I actually just want to ask you one thing.
You want me just to eat the crow? All right.
No, you can finish
Yes.
your liver, but
Eat it all.
I can't think of liver without thinking of Hannibal Lecter, actually, but we'll keep off that. Just to be clear, you weren't just wrong. I mean, every reason you gave for why Kamala was obviously going to win turned out to be non-existent. Women didn't rush to vote for her because of abortion. There was no great rush to vote as a protest to January the 6th. Trump broke records for himself with almost every demographic possible. And he won everything. The White House, the Senate, the House. He's going to get more judges on the Supreme Court. He won everything. How did you, Wajahat, and I say this with great respect, but how did you call this so badly? Why did you possibly think, because I kept trying to tell you, Kamala Harris is a terrible candidate and Trump's going to win. Why were you so wrong?
So the reason why I was so wrong, I was wrong twice, 2016, 2024. I thought it would swing 1.5 points her way. When we were talking on your show, if you remember, you asked us, well, how could be some reasons how he wins? And you said, and just for the sake of entertaining it, I said, yeah, maybe the men come out for him, men of color, and he gets enough people in the swing states. When all is said and done, Piers, as the data is being collected, as we know, he will get less than 50%. He will beat her by 2 points. For perspective, in 2020, Biden beat Trump by 4.4 points. It's not an overwhelming mandate.
He won the popular vote, Wajahat. Come on.
Yeah. Well, wait, but less than 50%, number one. He's going to beat her by maybe 2 points, number two. There's a fascinating trend around the world. In the past 140 years, this has never happened. Nearly every single incumbent party around the world has lost. Fascinating, number one. Number two, if you look at the polls, it's fascinating. Most people, when blindly presented with Kamala Harris's policies, including Trump voters, supported it. Most people who had incorrect facts about economy, inflation, immigration, crime, went to Trump. Most people who had correct facts went to Kamala Harris. So I think there's a lot of things that factor here. Number one, I do think even if Biden would have run, I think he would have been even worse looking at the internal polling. There's a fascinating phenomenon right now that's happening in 2024. Nearly every incumbent party has lost around the world. Number two, the racism and misogyny, I think, is caked in, which is why Trump attacked her. A lot of people, I thought, Piers, listen, I thought enough people in 2024 would be okay voting for a black woman. I was wrong. Number three, right-wing disinformation really worked on $140 million.
So to be clear, it was just to be clear, Wajahat, hang on, just to be clear, so far you've categorised the reasons that people voted for Trump and not your woman, Kamala Harris, was racism, sexism, right-wing disinformation, and because they were basically too stupid.
No, I didn't say that. The number one.
Well, they
factor
didn't believe
is that-
facts, as you put it. So they voted.
no.
They
I
voted
said
on
that-
the
I-
wrong
no.
facts. I mean, I'm not
No,
being
no,
funny
no.
with
I
Wajahat,
said-
but it does seem to me you
Look
are
at the number one factor.
You
Wait,
are.
can you
You
just
are.
add the number one
If you
factor?
don't mind me saying,
Add the
you
number
are
one factor.
sounding. You are sounding quite ludicrously deluded. I've got to be fair to you and say I like
what do you
you and I
mean?
respect you, but honestly, you are. Let's bring in Clay Travis. You can't.
Like I said in the intro, these people set up on their high horse. They called us stupid. They called us racist and misogynist and every other ist or phobe that you can in the book. And here he is doing it once again. He's quoting all these polls, but not saying the source of the poll. And in my guess, in my estimation, those polls are heavily favored towards the Democratic Party, right? And he's acting like the people are stupid. He's like, they relied on right-wing disinformation about how much they're paying for groceries and how much they're paying for gas. It's like, bro, how stupid are you to sit here and lie to our face? Quit campaigning for Kamala Harris and the Democratic Party. You're suffering from a severe case of loser denial. Donald Trump already won, and he won by a popular majority. That doesn't happen for Republicans very often. So that should send the signal that Americans are actually paying attention to what's going on in their lives and how they're being affected on the daily versus your stupid polls. I mean, I know that you want to believe that you're right, but the majority of American voters disagree with you. And so let's hear what Emily Austin has to say in response.
All right, Emily Austin, your response to that.
I want to go back to Wajahat's point in the beginning and just address the racism issue. We had a black president for 2 terms. We had Barack Hussein Obama as the United States president, as a black man.
Look how smug
so
this
you
dude is.
cannot pull the racist card. Kamala's strongest asset in her campaign was the fact that she was a black woman. In fact, that's probably all she had going for her, because if she had had some policies and her celebrity endorsements and was a black female, she probably would have won. So we can't put in the racism card anymore. Now, I think Bobby Kennedy, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he said it best. The Democratic Party, he always says, I didn't leave the Democratic Party, they left me. They've went so unhinged left wing and turned America into such a laughingstock, both domestically and internationally, that now we need someone on the right to just bring us back to the middle. There's not one reason I would pinpoint that Trump won. The border, our safety, the economy, DEI is the most racist thing that has been implemented. To
Yes.
segregate people by their gender or color or race rather than judging people off of merit is literally the definition of racism. But the problem is, over the last 4 years, we've normalized the insanity that now going back to normalcy and listening to Trump's normal policies have become radical extremism. And I don't think it's that extreme. I think that America's gone extreme, so we need to find the proper balance again. And all of the excuses of why Kamala lost, incompetency. She was not qualified. She could not crack down on policies. Even Obama chirping in her ear couldn't do it. What they did to Biden showed their disloyalty in the party. There was a million reasons why she lost, and I could give you a million reasons why Trump won.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the 2 pivotal moments of the whole race were when Trump got shot and he stood back up at huge personal risk, potentially, not knowing there was another shooter out there, and he punched the air and shouted, fight, fight, fight. And secondly, when the Democrats coronated Kamala, and it looks like it was a deliberate act of almost treason by Joe Biden to his party, that he was so piqued by being driven out that he immediately said he was endorsing Kamala, so it had to be her, knowing that that may not be the best choice, and then depriving them of having a proper convention where they could have thrashed out who was the best candidate. I think those 2 things, precipitated by that shooting and then by obviously the debate that had happened, that led to this terrible decision to let her just be anointed. And
I think also, Pierce, a lot of people started to question, why are the Democrats so afraid to have Trump back in office? They attempted to kill him 2 times. They used the justice system against him. They criminalized the justice system. They've tried everything, every single thing that they were capable of doing to stop Trump from getting in office. So now a common person who, let's say, knows nothing about politics can't help but to question, why are they so afraid of this man? And the answer is, he will expose, with his Avengers of a team right now, all of the corruption that's been tolerated in the government over the last who knows how long, and he's going to crack down on it.
Yeah, I think I think that the weaponization of the justice system against Trump was a massive act of self-harm by the Democrats.
You know what? These actors that play the Avengers are a bunch of woke Democrats. Can we at least start calling it the Justice League? I feel like Elon Musk is more of a Bruce Wayne Batman, and I feel like Donald Trump is more of a Superman. So, you know, I don't know about you, but I'm kind of over hearing this whole Avengers thing about these folks. You know, I mean, even Tulsi Gabbard looks like Wonder Woman, and RFK Jr. caring about the environment could possibly be Aquaman. So I don't know. Just having a little fun. But seriously, how do you think Kamala Harris would have responded hypothetically had she got hit in the ear like Donald Trump did? Do you think she would have stood up and said fight, or do you think she would have got carried off on a stretcher? Personally, I think that she would have been carried off on a stretcher, tried to play the victim card as much as possible. And America and Americans, look, we're not victims, okay? I know Obama went around and apologized to the world saying that we're not a Christian nation and, you know, we shouldn't have done all the things that we did back, you know, when there was a world war going on and everything else. And look, we're actually strong. We're not a bunch of wussies that go around apologizing for the things that we had to do in the past. And what we do as Americans, we grow from it. We learn from our mistakes. We get better. And that's why America is one of the greatest countries. No, I'm sorry. That's why America is the greatest country on this planet, and we will only continue to get better, especially under Donald Trump and this Justice League of a team that he's putting together. I'm really looking forward to the next 4 years, and I hope that even these woke Democrats, the voters, the people, I know the people at the top, they're never going to change. They serve their lobbyists and their own personal interests and things like that, but hopefully for at least the people that voted for the Democrats, these anti-Trumpers and all these people, hopefully they realize that their life has gotten better over these next 4 years and that potentially they were wrong. I know it's a hard ask. It's a big ask, and it's painful for people to actually leave a cult. It's physically painful, but, you know, we have 4 years for these people to learn from their mistakes, for them to be redeemed, and for them to actually enjoy having, you know, affordable groceries, affordable insurance, safety at the border, fewer, you know, deaths, less child trafficking, and, you know, all these things across the board that we expect the Trump Justice League to get accomplished. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you agree with some of these things that I said, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Also, come visit me on Wednesdays and Saturdays. I go live at 6 p.m. Eastern on this channel. I'd love to see you guys there. If I don't see you, that's fine. Maybe next time, but hopefully at least I'll see you guys in the next video.